Hi, everyone, and welcome to part two of how marriage almost ruined my life. Now, it's important to make some notes. Number one, please know this clearly that this happened just a few years ago. I got married in February 2015, and February and March 2015. I'm going to be explaining that in detail later. And I left in 2018. I left a bit 2017 and finally left in 2018 and eventually filed for a divorce. And I'm fully divorced. And God has turned my life around and I have rebuilt my life again. I'm doing well. My son is doing well. We moved to the United States and we're currently there right now. We're filming this from the United States. At the point of this recording, I'm not hot. It's not I'm not trying to spite anything or anybody, and I'm not trying to be honest. There's no, it doesn't even like I don't. My channel is not currently monetized, and I don't need this to move anywhere. Like it's not for any. I'm not chasing clout. But I'm doing this because God wants to use my story and my experiences to help others. And in my conversations, or all the conversations I'm going to be having, I'm allowing the point of view of others that were part of the story or saw the story. I'm allowing them to talk, to speak, and I'm not interrupting. It's intentional. Trust me, there is my own point of view, and there are things that happen that maybe they saw it differently, but I think are different. But I'm not interrupting. One of the things the Lord wants me to do is actually to be vulnerable. And in being vulnerable, I'm not trying to be say right. There were things I did that were outrightly foolish and stupid. And in fact, I don't know what to call myself. Like I made very foolish decisions. I was stupid at so many fronts. I did so many things that were wrong. And I'm not going to paint myself right about it. And also there were some reactions that I had. There were some reactions that I I did. And in as much as I can say, oh, it's because he did this, that's why I'm reacting this way. But I take 100% responsibility for that. And I need you to be patient and listen carefully and with an open mind and pray about it and ask the Holy Spirit, what do you want me to learn from this? What do you want me to pick from this? Okay. I've not shared my story in this light before. Maybe to some people that are personal to me, I'll just speak here and there. Oh, do you know this happened? And people that had a front seat, I had people that were there with me, and so they saw it. And so most times when people talk, they're like, "You don't know excellence. You don't know what she has gone through. You don't know why she's like this. You don't know. You didn't see. You don't understand." They say that, and I have people that always give God thanks for my life. They do that because they had a front row seat. They saw what happened. They know that my life could have only been God. Me too, I know that it's only God that could have saved me through it all. And He didn't just save me, He turned my life around and gave me life again. And He just turned it all. He took that thing that the enemy thought was going to ruin me, and He's using it to help as many people as possible and just using it to deliver His daughters. I know you can't wait to hear my perspectives of the story, but a few weeks ago, or I think a few weeks, not a few weeks ago, over a year ago, I did a story where I shared a bit of how I met him and what happened. You can watch it here. Yeah, you can go watch it here. It's not a full story, but it was supposed to be a part that was supposed to continue, but I just got tired and I didn't continue sharing the story. But I'm going to do that. I'm going to share my whole story, and not just what happened before, what happened during, what also happened after, and how God healed my heart, healed me of the incurable um, illness that I had, gave me another life again, beautified me, and then changed my story. Like He just changed it. He changed everything. My life is just, it just shows the undeniable power of God. It shows that you cannot box God. It shows how merciful God is. It shows God as a God of multiple chances. It just, if you want to see, if you want to know if God is real, that's why what I went through, even if there was some religious part of it, like you can't stop me from, like, God saved me. I don't know how to explain it. Yeah, most times we try to say, why did God could have stopped it, why did He make me go into it and all of that. But trust me, by the time you listen to everything and the whole story, I don't know, like, I accept responsibility and my foolishness that put me into it. But God did not leave me. He did not leave me through it. Through it all, He stood by me. He was my answer. He sent me consolation. He sent me signs. He raised people to pray for me, to intercede for me. And I am so grateful and thankful that I am alive today to share my story and my experience. And I am so grateful. And I've told God I am willing and ready for you to use this for your glory. So remember to subscribe to this channel and turn on post notifications for all the episodes that are coming up. And do like this video so that YouTube can recommend it to other people and share with as many people as possible, especially women around you, women around you and in your life so they can learn. You can also share with parents because she's also going to talk about the lessons she has learned as a parent, and if she was going to go through this again, what would she have done differently. So I hope you get value. So let's dive into the part 2 of this video. See you on the inside. So I want to take you back a little now. Before the health issue, when you came, you were with me for I think 2 weeks or something, when I had,
3 weeks.
yeah, when I just had my baby. And I remember the day you called me, you were like, come, there's something I want to talk to you about. And I said, okay, what was it? And then you said, your husband is telling me that that you didn't, that you didn't train me well, or that I wasn't trained well, and so many things. And he also talked about how you were planning with your friends to kill him. That, what was that about? And so I was confused and I was like, what do you mean by planning with my friends? Like, didn't train me well and all of that. And then you were like, he mentioned how he saw a conversation between you and your friend Chineye and all. And I was livid. And I'm like, Chineye, kill him. How? That how you went behind his back. And that was when it clicked because I knew the only conversation I had with Chineye was the fact that it was like maybe 2 weeks or so to my EDD and we had not bought anything. So the hospital had given us a list of what we're supposed to come with and we had not bought any single thing at that time. And he wasn't also taking it serious and we didn't have any money. And so Chineye was my friend. So I just talked to her about it. And she was even willing to, she didn't have the money, but she was like, she had some savings. And she was like, she's going to give that to me. So I told her that if she does that and if he finds out, I'm going to be in trouble. And she was like, no, EDD is EDD, but it can come before or after. It's important that you're prepared. At least have what is on the list. And she was like, I'm here in the hospital and I can see women that do not come with what they have, they just ignore them. So it's important you have what you need. So I was like, let's wait and see, maybe anything will happen. But nothing was moving. Then a week later, she asked me what was going on. I said, we are still not bought anything, like absolutely nothing. And I was like, you know what, let me ask my brother to see if my brother could help. And she asked, how about you ask your brother? I'm like, oh, I can, but we've not talked for a while, but let me just see if I could ask him to see if he could help. But I was like, if my husband finds out, it's going to be it might be trouble because he might not really like it. Well, I want to take him out. So I decided to reach out to my brother and I told him, and I also explained that my husband might feel bad about me asking about it, so I don't want to tell him. And my brother was like, "No problem, I'll help, but don't tell anybody." He was like, "Don't tell anybody about it. Just say that I gave it as a gift, my gift to the child, like you're about giving birth my nephew or something." So when the money came, of course, there's no way I could buy things and say where I got the money without sharing with him that here I bought things. So I told him, "Hey, my brother gave me this money to for the baby coming and oh thank God has provided, let's go buy the things we need." So apparently, and I told Chineye about it and she was like, oh thank God. Apparently he had read the chat or the conversations that I had with Chineye and he now got to say that I went behind his back to collect money and that means I can also plan with my friends or go behind his back to kill him. I was livid. I'm like, what do you mean? And funny enough, even after that money came, because it was the money my brother sent that was very instrumental in buying literally everything we need. Because after that money came, he didn't even have money. Money didn't even come from another source. Because if that money had not come, I don't know how I would have survived, except maybe he had something else somewhere that I don't know. Because yeah, he was very secretive and all of that. So it was so strange and funny and painful that he's telling my mom that I could plan to kill him because I got money behind his back, not from a guy, not from anything, but from my own brother. And was telling my mom that she didn't treat me well and all. And so she was asking me, and I explained to her that this is what happened. And I was showing her the conversations that it's not anybody, it was Chinaye, and this is it. And in fact, my brother had said I must not tell anybody about the money. So I didn't want to say anything and all of that at that time. So how did you feel? I know you were sad and you just heaved a sign like you asked me, you said, you mean this was what happened? I said, yes, that's really what happened. That's what I know. And I'm like, is that why he's been behaving that way? Is that why he's not eating my food? He thinks I want to kill him. How will I want to kill him? So do you remember that experience?
Glory be to God. I quite really remembered all that transpired. That was also the very day um, you told his father you want to see him.
Okay.
So,
Can't even remember.
yes, he told me, the man told me, first of all, he started with my daughter wanted to kill the child in her womb. That was how he started. I said, how? How do you mean? How could she kill the child in her womb? Then he now said he also planned to kill him, that she's not trained well. I became offended. I was so angry. I said, you did, my daughter, you said I did not train well? What do you mean that I didn't train her well? That day, my daughter was asking her for money for food. Where they were staying, they don't have, the nets have broken. And my daughter had to carry her and the baby and went to the other room. And my daughter was not happy. Since she could not tell me what was going on, even though I was in that house, they were just secret, 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 secret. But I was in that house doing dry fasting. I had 3 days dry fast in the house, but they didn't know. And the Lord was showing me things. A lot happened. So when he mentioned that, I didn't want to wait. I called my daughter before him. I said, what is this man saying? That you wanted to kill your baby in the womb and that you also wanted to kill him with your friends. Who are those his friends? As he mentioned, she had only 2 very close friends that this man also wanted her to dump them because he married him. And if he had dumped them, they were her classmates. If she had dumped them, anything that happens to her, nobody would have known about it. So when I asked my daughter, immediately my daughter heard that question, she hissed and shook her head and her face changed, which already she has already been upset. So she now told me, how? Why could how could he report her to me? The nun said, so you reported me to my mom. I'm going to report you to your dad. Enough is enough. So Excellence now told me that I know he didn't buy clothes for herself. It's even the one that she was wearing. And being a first timer, her stomach did not grow big. So it was like, why will you be wearing this clothes? Probably, I don't know whether he wanted her to go and wear maternity gown. I think maternity gown is when your stomach is up, then you see that your clothes are now not fitting you again, they are now tightening you. But this one, her clothes are still free on her. So he counted it as if he doesn't want to give birth to this child and he wants to kill the child. So that was what my daughter was telling me. And he now told me the issue of uh, what he said about killing him with her friends. He said, Mommy, I won't lie to you, but there was no time I and my friends planned to kill him. But what happened was that I knew how I had been feeling, and my blood pressure was going up, and because a lot of things, we have not even bought any single thing for this baby coming. I've not even been attending antenatal. He refused me to register for antenatal. There was nothing we've bought for the baby. And she told her friend, Chinenye. Chinenye was a student, medical doctor,
Medical
a
student.
medical student with a Chidera, two of them. They were so close. So they now told Chinenye that please, oh, in case they called you anytime because of me, don't wait. Start coming. You know I don't have anybody. It's only you. I wrote your name and your address and put it in my purse because anything can happen. I will not know. Please, if they call you, you are the one I have. You are the Chidera, but it is your name that is in that paper. Then Chinonye now said no problem. And they were now discussing how is he doing you? And she told her that she has not even registered for antenatal. He said, you mean you have not registered for antenatal even up to this point? Is it not when you go for antenatal, they will teach you things you need to know, and that where they will give you list of the things you will buy for the baby?
Yeah, we're seeing his friend who was a doctor from time to time at that time. Maybe I think once every 2 months or something. It wasn't antenatal, but seeing that doctor. Yeah.
So seeing doctor, it's not the doctor that will give you this list now. It's when you
No.
come to antenatal room, you follow them, there is a procedure.
Yeah, but that the doctor eventually gave us the list, but we had not bought anything.
So she was now like, Chinonye said, why have you people not bought anything? She said that he said he don't have any money. You don't have money from first month, second month, third month to where you are now that you're about to deliver. You don't plan anything. So he now agreed. And then SNS now said she told her if she has any money, she can lend to her. She now said that I don't know whether they were doing contribution she was holding, I don't know. That she will check if she has some money, she can give you whatever you can buy, but it is loan, that is lending. And Desmond said she told her that he will do that, she will pay her back. And later, SNS now said no, let her ask her brother, not my first son, if he can help. And thank God, she called her brother, my first son, and told him some of the things she was going through, because she too, the man have also, everything from the start of this marriage thing is a manipulation he used on her throughout, that even affected us, the family too. So she secretly begged her brother, and the brother agreed and sent her some money. That was why she was able to buy like a basin, those small, small things. It was when I and my husband were now coming to see her that we were able to pick things, even the pampers, even maybe the
Clothes.
clothes and everything, even milk for the baby. We bought food, everything that we need. Even after we go, he will still have food to eat, because this one was not ready to do anything for her. In fact, he was grumbling and murmuring and all that. In fact, everything, I don't know, it was just, this is my daughter. It's a gift from God. And no matter whatever happened that put her in this situation, I will never turn my back on her. The only thing I can do, how she can survive and be alive with her baby. Because I saw many things. I saw things,
Okay,
you
we're
know.
going to go into.
So until as he reported to me, she too reported him to his father. And the father came and she told the father what she had been going through in the hand of his son. The father was mad. The father was so angry and told him that what he's doing or what he was doing was too bad. You know, I was here. He will be claiming he don't have money, don't have any money, don't have money. A friend sent a check in my daughter's name and they will carry it to help. A lot happened in
Okay,
years.
let's. Okay, we're going to go into that. God bless his father, who is now late, but I have to be honest, he was good to me as much as he could, but he also did not have the power to tell his son what to do. He did what he liked when he liked it. He wasn't listening to anyone, so that was clear. Okay, so before we even go much further, I want to talk about the birth. I remember when I was pregnant, you knew, but I remember conversations where you have and you ask me when is your EDD, and I'll say soon, because he had warned me not to tell anybody about it. And he was going on how they want to kill the baby, how this, that, how the baby is a boy, they want to change the baby to a girl, how they want to kill the baby, how they want to kill the baby, how they want to use me to kill the baby. He kept going on about it. And so I was kind of scared. And I think he also monitored me in a kind of way. I don't know. I just felt this being monitored. So I was always, whatever they say don't do, I always wasn't doing. So I didn't tell you. But I remember after I'd been in labor, it's been over 48 hours. When the doctor goes, we have to go in for an emergency CS. The baby's heartbeat is dropping, and I said, I know I've not told anybody, nobody knows I'm here. But then I put my friend's number, Chinaya and Chidera, as emergency contact. I put them in my pulse in case. And I had put the worship song I wanted to be a playlist when I was on labor. But that night I was like, I understand not telling anybody, but I've never been caught before. I've never had any surgery before, whether minor or anything. I have never been caught. I don't want to go in there without talking to my parents. Can you please call my mom and my dad? I want to speak to them. I don't know what will come out of it, but I want to tell them. I want to speak to them. And so, how did you feel that night? Was in the night, Abi, or it was in the it was the night you were first told that you were called that I've been in labor for like 2 days and nothing, and the way it's looking is like I have to go in for a CS. I think it was night or early in the morning. I can't remember. How did you how did you feel about it?
You know, the whole thing is, in this child bearing something is a huge something. I've been there for 3 weeks when she was still pregnant and saw what was going on. And in my mind, not even in my mind, I discovered that this man really wants my daughter and the child to die. After giving her all sorts of uh, commandments. How do you feel if you are a mother listening to me? If you are a daughter or even a son or whoever you are listening to what we are talking about, that your mother will come to see you were pregnant and you've not been eating, vomiting and everything, and you are coming and your in-law commanded your daughter, make sure your mother that coming, it shall not enter our room. Make sure you don't sleep with her. Make sure she will not pray for the child. And so many other things. Meanwhile, I am a called servant of the Most High God. I'm not just only mother to her. And this very man knew very much of me. And because of the manipulations, he has manipulated my daughter. She was just following this man, following. Even when the day they wanted to kill her in the occult world. Thank God, she was beside me in their guest room where we were, and sleep carried her. And me, Kuma, I slept. But I found something happened. If you're a servant of God, that God uses, I saw my daughter move sharp. They called her. She was going with fast outside and opened my eyes. I saw that she was leaving. I said, no, 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 no. I looked down. Her ordinary body was on the bed. Her real self have already moved now. I now went back to the realm of the spirit and started calling her back, calling her back, calling her back. That was midnight, calling her back. And she now turned and she came back. As she came back, she entered into her body again. When she entered into her body, I said, praising God and thank God. And now shook her. I called her. She now woke up. I said, God, what is going on? What is going on? Then Anan said, let me call this man. Wherever he is, He told us he was going to Lagos, but I know he wasn't going to Lagos. Or even if he's going to Lagos, he was on a journey. So I now called and then told my daughter. When my daughter woke up and called him that they want to pray. Can you imagine? Her mother, that is a minister of gospel, was there. She said, I will not pray with her. She has to pray with that man. I keep quiet till they prayed. Then I said to her, please help me tell that man that I want to talk to him. So later, he gave me phone and I told the man, please, can you come back? That it's like Excellence is feeling for you, is feeling lonely. I don't know if you can come, because she wasn't going to school then. If you can come, and even if it is to the park or anywhere, carry her even to the field so she can air herself and all that. I didn't know that the man was offended because she couldn't get what she wanted. And I was thinking that I was discussing with a man of God. When I told him that I don't like what happened to her, she became offended. And that was the very day her anger with me showed up. When she eventually came back, you know, for you to see the target of this man is to eliminate this girl and the son, simply because she wants to have money. Because he used to say, I want to build a big hospital. My friends, even those that I finished with, I have hospitals. They said to me, Mommy, if we have hospital, we'll be getting money so much. I didn't know he was planning to use my daughter and the child for money ritual. And then I became an obstacle to him. When he came back, he was sad. And the time for me to leave have come. I have to leave and now face my daughter. The situation became worse on her. But immediately I came back, I have to send my last daughter to go and meet her and help her. Which she too, the man was hostile to her too. And said, you've come now. You will now be telling the people at home what is going on here. If I hear it. So when she was going all these things, I've already come back. And my daughter stayed, the one she's seen somebody before, came back. I have already put everything in the hand of the Lord. And the day of the labor, he didn't tell me. She didn't tell me. She has already stressed for how many days before the man now called that look, that she had been in labor for so, and because his target is how this girl will be eliminated. Because in that labor room, Chesina was asking the doctor what will happen to someone who is suffering from high blood pressure, and would the person be able to give birth? And the doctor said, why will you be suffering from this? That is not right. And I know he warned the man that was it's no more her husband, the ex-husband. Why will you allow this small girl to face this kind of thing? I think that was when they waited. She was just going before they now put operation issue.
Okay, so this this whole experience or this whole story, we're talking about 3 years plus here. And then after the whole 3 years plus, we also are going to talk about the journey of recovery and rebuilding my life again. It's really a very long story, and kind of there are so many parts, like so many things happen, and sometimes it feels like it was more than 3 years. there were just so many things. And so I really was hoping that we would wrap it up at this time, but we are not even near the surface yet. But also trying, because this is not scripted or anything, I'm trying as much as possible to remember as much as I can so she can talk about, so I can guide the conversation. Before we even now go into the later part of living or not living, there's one more thing I want to talk to you about in this episode. And um, viewers, we might need to have a part three of this because there's something else that's coming up. So we're going to have a part three. And then also, we're going to have, I'm also bringing on some of my friends. For example, Chinere, you see, she's mentioned Chinere for a while, and then Chinere, I don't know if Chinere would come on, but I'm going to bring them to also share their perspectives about it. Meanwhile, I think some time ago, about some months ago, over a year ago, I shared a story of how I met him and what happened, and you can watch it here. But then after they share their stories and kind of in between, I'm going to also be sharing my own story. Now, this is her own point of view. They're also going to be sharing their own point of view, and I'm also going to be sharing what happened, like how I what was happening with me. So, and then you can piece it all together and pick as much as you can. So as we wrap up this particular episode, mommy, I want to talk to you. I want to ask you about, there was this experience that happened. There was this day you called me, and it was not too long after the wedding, if I must say. And this, I'm taking you back now. And you had had this dream, and you had been trying to reach me before then, but I wasn't taking. You didn't know that I'd been instructed to cut off, so I'd cut off. And then you called me. I remember that day I was in Chidera's room and I stepped out of her room because I was in school at that time. I could not take your call when I was at home because I was scared. So no, it was not shortly after. Maybe it was a year after because I think we had moved to Ibadan or something. But I remember I was in Chidera's room at that time, and so I came out to take the call, and you told me that you had this very weird dream. Yeah, it wasn't immediately because you guys were still talking. It was some time later, maybe after I'd had the baby or something. I was pregnant. I can't remember. You said you had this dream. That in this dream you saw that I was covered with a black cloth, with a thick black cloth. And I was running with a thick black cloth, but I could not see. And somebody was following me and trying to kill me or something like that. But then I was covered with this thick black cloth, and I was really struggling to take the clothes out, but I could not. That you had seen that. Can't remember the other part of the dream. But then you said you woke up and you were praying about it, that what is going on? What is going on? At this time, I had not also told you anything that was happening. I was very quiet, and one of the reasons why I was quiet in this whole situation, sorry, this is my mom's point of view, and I'm trying to allow her. If you notice, I'm trying not to interject, just to allow her speak, but I just want to put a few things for context. I'd I'd been schooled even before I got married that when you're having issues with your spouse, do not bring in other people, do not bring third party into it, because when people settle, they will not forget about it. I really thought things would be better. So I wasn't saying anything to anybody. I was very secretive because I didn't want people to see him another light. And to be honest, I didn't know what was going on. It didn't make any sense. I wasn't even thinking deeper. It was just surface level. So you said you had prayed about it, but then you went into a dream again. You fell asleep again, and you had this dream. You had another dream. In this dream, you saw me sitting in a corner, and I was crying, and I had a flax. And you explained that you know how a flax, when you lock it, it has a click, and so when it clicks, you know it has locked properly. It's not just turning, but it has to click for it to lock properly. But that the flax I was holding, the click had broken. And so you saw me trying frantically to lock the flags, and it wasn't working, and I was trying everything to fix it, and I was frustrated and really trying to fix it, and it wasn't working. And it was like you were watching me, and that the Holy Spirit told you to tell me that what I'm trying to fix cannot be fixed, that it's already broken. That's what you told me. And then you that it's already broken, that it cannot be fixed. And then you now told me that God had told you that the marriage I had was not recognized by him, that the person you saw that was pursuing me was actually my now ex-husband, and that he wants to kill me, that I had been blinded and manipulated and covered, that God said God had told you that the marriage was not recognized by him, and that I was in trouble, and that I should stop trying to fix it. It cannot be fixed. I have to leave. I think that was the very first conversation you had about you saying I was in danger and I needed to leave that space. Do you remember that experience?
Yes, very much. How can I forget those things? One, the day that thing came, it was like I was sitting down and I saw her. I saw someone covered with a thick blanket,
You said like a
black,
masquerade.
like masquerade. Ha, like masquerade. There was no way you can see anybody inside, and somebody was wanting to puncture that masquerade with his long, sharp dagger to, to kill the person. And now the person was trying everything to remove the the clothes, but he was not able to remove it. So I now started praying and say, God, what is going on? It was at that time the Lord showed me that it was her. And he showed me the person that I saw the person that was shooking that thing, but I didn't know who was inside covered. It was when the Holy Spirit let me know that it were you and that this man wants to do everything to finish you. So I stayed praying, and the Lord showed me again a very big, two big trees. Trees. The Bible says that husband and wife, they are one. It should have been one tree, but I saw two trees different. This one growing on its own with its own leaves. This one growing on its own with its own leaves. There was nothing joined together. And I was asking, what is the meaning of it? And I was told by the Lord that this marriage was not even in the realm of the spirit. The marriage was not even contracted, even in the realm of the spirit. Talk less of God of heaven honoring it. There was nothing that connects them together. There was nothing. Because she was not calling, even when I call her, she will not even pick. I went through things. So the day she now picked, I tried to let her know what was going on. She waved it away. She did not tell nobody. And even as I'm talking, things are happening, I will only turn to my husband and say to my husband, look at what is going on with this girl. Could you believe we are the ones sending money for her to take and eat food today? Or even her siblings, everybody, take, give to her so she can live. Meanwhile, this man was giving her gari to drink. Gari to drink. Someone that was pregnant till even she delivered. Nobody comes to his house. He refused her friends to come. He also refused her neighbors to come. Even when I came for Mugo, she even refused me to even go out. She will use key and lock the whole house and hold the key. He will be complaining that I want to expose him. I'm exposing him. I'm exposing him. I didn't do what? And nothing, no bed, no chair, nothing in that house. So I that day, thank God, she was able to pick. When I told her what was going on, she refused to believe me. She refused to tell me this is what she has been going through. Then she was nursing the baby. Nobody was there. In that realm of the spirit, and I saw that she was sitting in a bench, alone. And she was crying, holding this flask in the hand, trying to cover the mouth. You know how you open the flask and take what there's some of these flashes that have a long mouth you put, then you now lock it. And if that thing is not there, it cannot close. She was busy. I just sat like this and looking at her. As God's grace is upon me back and return all the glory to Him, looking at her, and she was crying, doing everything to cover this. She couldn't. When she brings it out, you see that this thing has broken. There is no way it can tight. There's no way it can tight. I have to pick up my phone and call her. I said, Excellence, that thing you are trying to fix, that flask that broke, you are trying to close and it's not closing, and you are there crying. I want you to carry that matter to God of heaven and earth. Take that matter to the Lord Jesus Christ. He is the only one that can help you if you will be sincere to yourself. After talking to her, she still did not tell me this is what she's going through.
Yeah.
She still did not,
Yeah,
you know.
I didn't tell anyone, but that season was a deep season because I had God was unusually exposing things. At that time, Pastor Emeka called me. He had not called me, like we had not spoken. He was among those I didn't tell about the wedding or anything. And so he calls me and he's like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Yes, I'm fine." He said, "I've been trying to reach you." I said, "I'm fine, sir." He said, "Ah, but I saw this dream and I saw you weeping and crying. But then I saw this giant hand, come and he was cleaning your tears. Are you sure you're okay?" I said, "Yes, I'm okay." He's like, "Well, I don't know what it is, but I was just having those kind of supernatural, like the Holy Spirit was doing amebo for me everywhere, and He was raising people to pray for me. He was telling them, right, wake up, pray for excellence, wake up." Like He was telling people. And to be honest, at that time, I had not said anything I wasn't saying anything to anyone. So we're going to pause here right now because of time, but there's so much that we have to say. So there's going to be a part three, apparently.
You remember when she told you that you can see that many people are praying for you?
Oh yeah, that's that. We're going to get to that part. We're going to talk about the whole part where I didn't know that to pray for somebody was wrong. Anyway, we're going to talk about all of those things later. So in the final episode, there's still a lot to uncover. But I think in the third episode, I don't know if it's final. Let me say third episode. In the third episode, I wanted to talk about the experience because after I with the doctor had that diagnosis and I was very sick. He was very angry that you came and then he left me and
Mm-hmm.
went back, and you had to stay a bit before you left, and so we had to be separated because that was the first time things began to come to light. I began to talk, people began to talk, because I just felt my life was ended. I was only, I think, 24 at that time, and I could not talk, I could not do anything. And here I was with a rare disorder that I thought I was dying. So what is there to hide anymore? And that was when I actually began to kind of talk. And so we had to separate for a bit. He had even left. And so um I have a story to that I don't think she will know the details, but she has her own part of the story that she's going to share about that experience, and how everybody told me, just leave. When you leave, your son will be fine, because you're taking my son to his brothers. And how I went to Lagos without telling anybody, and then I tried to kill myself, and then God saved me. And we'll talk about that, and how even despite that, um everybody was like, leave, and I still stayed before I now eventually said I was leaving. So we're going to talk about that in the third episodes. I hope you all are learning. I'm trying not to interrupt a lot into this. After we talk about that episode, that whole thing, mommy is going to share her what she learned from the journey as a parent to other parents, and also she's going to talk about it to young women, young ladies as well, to a parent, to fellow mothers, and also to the things she has learned that has taught her, that she has experienced. And we're going to talk about that. And maybe in the fourth episode, we'll see how it goes, and then we'll go on from there. But are you finding value in this? Are you picking up something? It's very deep. and you have to listen to it prayerfully. I'm being open and vulnerable because the Holy Spirit told me to, and I don't know how many people He wants to save or deliver through this. He's told me this for a while, but it's taking me a while to actually come out and talk about it. And I could just come here and sit down and tell you my story, which I'm going to do, but I'm intentionally bringing other people because there are people that know this, and you might have followed me when I'm popular and I'm doing all of those helping people, but there is a story, there is a why, there's how I'm living a second chance. God gave me another life again, and I'm making sure that I live it fully. I hope you're blessed. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to subscribe and turn on notifications so that you can be notified when the part 3 goes up and when other episodes goes up. And remember to like, share, and comment so other people can watch. Share it with others that should watch it. Thank you very much, and bye for now.